Hey, hey, hey. I am Taquila Coleman. We are back. This is our Q&A session. I just had to get off to go pick up my children, but we're back. We're going to use this time for Q&A. I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to jump on the live. As you are jumping on the live, go ahead and post your comments, okay? We're going to use this as our Q&A session, all right? Thank you, Radiant Sun, for coming back. Thanks for coming back. So while y'all are jumping on, I'll just talk about what we talked about in the previous live. The previous live, we were talking about you are not an option. Okay, welcome back, Melissa. Thank you for joining us again. But we were talking about you are not an option. Okay, you are the obvious choice. You are the chosen one. You are the God ordained spouse. Um, Hey, it's me, Lily. Thanks for joining us again. Um, yeah, you're the obvious one, right? You're the obvious choice. You're the chosen one. You're not an option, and it's time for us to walk in. Hey, Tessa, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming back. Again, as y'all are jumping on, well, first, make sure everyone like this video. Make sure, for those of you who are not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button. It's right below this video, that little bell. Hit the little bell so you can receive notification when I go live again. Hey, Kathy, daughter of a king, Pam, thank you all for joining. So if you all have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the box. We're going to use this time for our Q&A session. Not going to be on here long. So while we are waiting on the questions to come, um, I want to just share this, okay? Because I had a dream. I think it was 2 nights ago, where basically he's waiting on everyone to get in purpose, okay? He wants us to move in purpose. It's time, okay? So if you're not already in purpose, now is the time to get in purpose, okay? God has called us to fulfill certain things in this world, and he's ready. Okay, he is ready. Yeah, yeah. So no question. If there's no question, we're gonna go ahead and end this live. All right. I'll give you all a few minutes to type in your question. So one of the questions we were talking about in the last session was the divine separation. Does it take 2 years? How long is divine separation? That is a question in itself. And the thing with divine separation, you got to take into consideration all of what God is doing. He's correcting not only your prodigal, but he's also bringing correction to you as well. He's changing heart. He's purging certain things out of our soul, out of our heart, out of our mind. He's growing us up in this process. And it's so funny because last night I was just thinking about how I have grown throughout this process. I was just really thinking about it and how I'm moving a lot faster. When you are dealing with when you're holding on to the hurt and pain from the past, it can weigh you down, to where it feel like you have these bricks on you, like you're carrying all this weight, all this baggage, right? But as you begin to release that, the baggage, the weight, you start moving faster, you start getting more things done. And I was reflecting on that yesterday. I was like, wow, I'm starting to get a lot of things done. And it's really because I've been over here healing, letting go of the anger, letting go of resentment, things of that nature. Okay, Nicola, let's see. Hi, Tequila, love from UK. Can you dream of seeing your God ordained spouse when he is married and been separated for 7 years? Can you dream of seeing your God? Yeah, you can. God can send you any kind of dream. Let's see. Kathy, how do how are you going to have to talk? You won't be an object as they come back. Type that again, Kathy. I think you probably was typing too fast. Type that again so I make sure I got your question correctly. Great topic. This process can make situations seems to be. I'm trying to stay busy, read scriptures, and let God fill me up with His Spirit. Tables will turn. It sure will. The tables will turn, and you're on point. God knew us in the womb. Yeah, and that's what. And see, that goes back to what I was talking about, concerned about the tables will turn. These people that's coming with this divine replacement message, talking about, oh, God is going to raise up another spouse. The devil is a lie. They never got this far in this process, and now because their faith, it stopped right here, like God is all the way up here, but their faith stopped right here. So they come up with this, oh, God is raising up another one. No, the tables are going to turn. Okay, the same spouse, the same prodigal spouse that rejected you in the past, you better believe that God is going to have that spouse sit down and watch you be elevated and promoted, and He's going to see. God, he's no respecter of person, right? And you will reap what you sow. And so all of this rejection that the prodigals are dishing out towards their God ordained spouse, whether they realize this their spouse or not, oh, understand. God is going to show them. I'm going to show you exactly what you rejected. I'm going to show you exactly what you overlooked for a counterfeit. And God is going to have your prodigal sit down and watch you be elevated. Now, that doesn't mean that God changed his mind. That doesn't mean that God's not going to bring the two of you together, because He's going to bring y'all together. But He's going to show your prodigal, um, God is God. And when God say that's your spouse, that's what He means. He gonna show them, like, you don't be playing around. You don't be sitting up here playing around with my child. Okay, you trying to overlook them and keep choosing these counterfeits. God will show them exactly. And this is why God hide our value, at times from our own spouse, because He know what's in the heart. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. I don't want to fornicate. Okay. I'm still trying to get your question, Kathy. You're gonna have to type the whole question back in so I can get it. Taquila, and wondering if they are married. Is that not a covenant, even though they are living separately for over 7 years? Oh, I can't tell you. I can't answer if he's married or not. I will tell you this: that God is a covenant keeping God. Meaning, okay, because I know a lot of you, I be reading y'all comments and y'all be like, if that wasn't a covenant made from God, then God's not gonna honor it. Yes, He will, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how God will honor the covenants, because this is how the spiritual world works. Everything works through covenant, agreements, right? And so even when we put ourselves in these self-ordained marriages, right? When we go out here and decide I want to marry this person, and we know God not in it, right? Well, as soon as we say I do, we just came into agreement. A covenant is made. This is a principle in God's kingdom. So God can't break His own principle. He the one put it there. He can't break it. He got to respect it, right? Now, that doesn't mean when you say I do to this counterfeit you just married, it doesn't mean you about to see God's blessing, because you're not. You're gonna know you married a counterfeit. You will see the fruit of that. But God, God will honor that covenant. He's not going to break it. He will make it crystal clear. I'm not in this. And He will leave it up to us. It would be our responsibility to walk ourselves right up out of that marriage. So if he's married, just respect that, and, you know, do whatever God is telling you to do for this season. Yeah. Uh, I have a question. Ministry with Randy Marshall. My grandmother's side of the family is last name Marsh. I wonder if you we related. I have a question. Does my prodigal wife feel any of what I'm going through? Some days, some days it's like walking through quicksand. We are divorced now, and the last parts of the divorce delayed. She could feel some of the things that you're going through. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go pour you some in the bowl if you want to.
Okay.
But she could be feeling some of what you're going through. Yeah. And she probably don't have the language, so she will feel it, probably thinking it's her. She might assume, or maybe I'm stressed out, or maybe it's something that she's going through. But yeah, she can feel it. When he comes back, will he come back and respect my boundaries to be married before we consummate the marriage? So that's a great question. So number one, this is for any man. A man will respect your boundaries when you let him know what your boundaries are. So when he come back, now let me say this: when Kathy, I was about to say his name. Kathy, a client. I was about to say his name. When he comes back, okay, make sure he's coming back because God sent him back, right? Because if not, and if he's coming back a prodigal, then he might not respect your boundaries, okay? He might act a fool. He might have a temper tantrum when you tell him no concerning sex. But when God sent him back, he's going to come back the right way. He's going to come back correct, respecting your boundaries. He even may even show signs that he's even trying to practice self-control and self-discipline, before marriage. So yeah. But make sure you let him know I want to wait until we get married and stand on your boundaries. Hi, Tequila. You speak about how I show up as a standard will be the way my prodigal spouse shows up. We've been separated for over 2 years. I've been obedient, but why is he so happy and far from change? It could be a lot of reason. What are you doing? Like this is what I mean when I was saying, because I was saying that we are a mirror to our spouse, like in the spirit realm. Okay. So what I mean is it's not enough for us to just pray. After I pray, I got to start healing, right? So once I move into a level of healing, it's not going to be like at the same time, but once I move into a level of healing, then I'm going to see, my spouse is over here healing as well. When I start wrestling with God, then I'm gonna see how my spouse is now becoming humble and now is starting to accept what God is saying, right? Here's another example of how we can mirror our spouse. You can be feeling intimidated of your spouse, right? You can have some intimidation going on inside of you, your spouse know nothing about. But yet when you look at your spouse, right, we can identify that they are also dealing with some type of intimidation as well. This is one of the things that I make my clients aware of, in our sessions. Like, you see how you dealing with this, and you see how he's dealing with the same thing. We are a mirror to one another. So, um, if you've been obedient and he's happy and having change, I don't know, I can't really say. I need to know more of what else have you been doing, what's been going on in the situation, how long you've been praying. I have a lot of questions I need to ask before I can properly answer that question. But I do know, like I was saying, we are a mirror to our spouse. And however way I show up, if I'm doing the work, I'm healing, I'm in purpose, it's not going to happen at the same time, but I will see it. I will see my spouse coming into healing or purpose or correction, things of that nature. Okay, hey Tequila, what to do if God is showing you someone who you work with will be riding with you, walking with you, signing deeds with you, always showing something in a dream, feeling doubt, but I'm sure he is my kingdom spouse. Oh, so you saying God is showing you these things about your coworker. Y'all ran together, walking together, signing deeds. Now that's a red flag. Was you a part of our dream interpretation, God's child? You don't want to sign anything in your dream. That's a trick of the enemy. Um, and you're wondering if he is your kingdom spouse. Go back and ask God for more confirmation and ask God, can you make it crystal clear um in another way, not just the dream, and he will do that. But you want to make sure you're not signing anything in your dreams because that's how the enemy trick us and have us come into agreement, covenants in our dreams. And so you could be signing, for the enemy to bring poverty into your life, for the enemy to steal your spouse out of your life, for the enemy to cause you to go backwards in life. You want to be careful of that. All right. No, 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 no. Jacqueline said, will God present a food item in your dream to establish an agreement? Nope. Or covenant. All those food items are witchcraft. That's somebody doing witchcraft on you, such as the most beautiful cupcake. And that's what they do. They would, let me tell y'all something. I was in my dream one day eating some popcorn, drinking. I don't know what I was drinking, but it was good but see, I love popcorn, in real life. So that's why I was able to eat it in my dream because I didn't see anything wrong with it. But that's how the devil worked. Okay. Um, so no, that's the enemy trying to bind your spirit and make that cupcake look so good to where you eat it. So you don't want to eat that. You want to rebuke that, cancel the plans of the enemy, come out of agreement with that dream. I feel like my God ordained wife posts on her social media to talk to me because after I sent her the message on why I believe she's my wife, just today she uploaded a video of her talking about how God can speak to you. Coincidence, or is she trying to subtly speak to me through her video? I can't tell you if that's what she's doing. Here's what I will say: hold her accountable. If she want to speak to you, because you made it crystal clear to her that I remember you said, like, basically you told her like you're her God ordained husband. You have been reaching out to her via text message. She, for whatever reason, taking her sweet time on responding back. So you done your part. Now, if she's ready to talk to you, hold her accountable. Require for her, because she got your number, to text you back, and she will. Require that from her. Act like you don't even see these little subtle posts she's posting up. And when she's ready to talk, she will call you. Okay. Because what you don't want to happen, is you assuming, like she's speaking to you, and then you go towards her or, move forward towards her, and she still act, like she shows signs like she's playing games, because that's just going to hurt you. So no, she got your number. Let her pick that phone up, text you, or hit your inbox, let her reach out to you directly. Okay. Uh, Hi, Taquila. Had a dream about spouse. A prophet told me she is my wife. We came together, started a lovely relationship. She called me out of the blue and said she is not ready for us to continue. Okay. Wait for I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at my daughter. She just did so. I ain't gonna tell her. Wait for God to confirm to you that this is your spouse. Okay. Wait for God to confirm that to you. And once God confirm it, and if she is still saying she's not ready for y'all to continue, then that might mean she's a prodigal, or she could be dealing with a counterfeit. Stop it. Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't even want your names on anything in a dream. You don't. Um, you don't want your names on anything in a dream because again, you haven't read what's on that paper, so you don't know why your name is at the bottom. It speaks to agreement. So if you haven't read in that dream what's on that piece of paper, you don't want your name anywhere on that piece of paper. How can they continue to show no signs of hope that God is working on them? To me, been 20 months apart, it would be nice, a sign of something God's working on my wife's heart. Um, See, I'm gonna just say it this way, because sometimes when we look, we can, we can say to ourselves, I don't see, how God is moving on my spouse, right? However, we can be overlooking the little small little correction God is doing in our spouses, okay? So if it's been 20 months, how long have you been praying for your spouse? What kind of prayers are you praying? Are you very specific in your prayers? Like, give me more, because you should be seeing some type of correction, even if it just they no longer hang around the same people they used to hang around. That's correction. Even if it's let's just say your prodigal wasn't taking care of their children, but now they taking care of their children. Now they back in their life. That's God moving. It's the little stuff, because sometimes we could be focused on that big correction, and we can miss all the little correction that God is doing. The very first correction I seen God do in my God ordained spouse life was reveal the enemies to him. That was the first correction, because that was exactly what I prayed for. Reveal the hidden enemies to my spouse. And it was revealed to him. Now, whether he wanted to see it for what it was, that was on him. Right. So make sure you're not overlooking the small correction that God, have been doing. Okay, Jacqueline. And then we also can't see the correction God is doing when he's encountering them in their dreams, right? We don't see that. We're not there for that. We're not there because sometimes I know for a man, when God is correcting him, they know how to hold that stuff in. They know how to still go out here and appear the same way, but have been corrected on the inside. They have gotten a whole different perspective. They know who you are, but they probably just haven't said anything, right? So don't assume just because when I look at my spouse, I don't see anything or they're not saying what I want to hear, they haven't been corrected, because they in possibility they was. Okay. Okay, God's child said, God has been showing me what is will be going through in the spirit, lust, discord, confusion. God also showed me how he sees me and other things, just so much things, but feeling doubt. Okay, you feeling doubt because you see the lust, the discord, the confusion. So don't allow that to cause you to doubt. Those are prayer points. So if you're seeing it, God wants you to pray it down, pray it away. Okay, because we got to remember, and I'm specifically talking about prodigal husband. Um, this can apply to a woman as well, but most men don't know how to change. They don't know how to reduce the lust. They don't know how to not be angry or critical all the time. So when God allow us to see these things, God is like, go ahead and help your spouse. Go ahead and pray against that. Pray against that spirit of discord. Pray against that spirit of lust. Pray against all confusion. And this is how we help them, whether they realize it or not. Break free out of the hands of the enemy. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Judah said, what about when God uses you as an instrument or a tool to break up the counterfeit marriage? Literally without your knowledge, not always peaceful. The kingdom is taken, sometimes taken by force. Yeah, but that's not what that means. No, you don't want the devil to use you like that, okay? It goes back to God is a covenant keeping God. If God want that person out of that marriage, he's not going to send you, the spouse, to go in there and break it down, break it up, even if you're not even aware that this person is married. He's not going to do that. He will make it crystal clear to the spouse, the one that's in this marriage, I'm not here. Like God would make it crystal clear to this person, this is what you chose. I have more for you, but you can't get it in this because my blessing's not over here, right? And it's accountability. It's their responsibility. The same way they got in that marriage, it's their responsibility to get out of it. And I'm speaking from experience. Okay, I used to be married. I was in a marriage, a self-ordained marriage I put myself in. I knew God wasn't in that marriage. I got married. We got married because I was pregnant. And I think within the first 6 months, I saw it. I was like, God's not in this. I was really trying to walk right. I was trying to find myself. I was 21 years old, just trying to find myself. But the thing that it was things going on that I was like, I don't want this for life. I just kept saying that. I don't see me in this for life. And so I was the one who put that to an end. I did it. I did it. So I don't believe God would send um the spouse to break that down. FCA, he said, God, don't play with me. Ah. Hey, France, I'm doing fine. Okay, good, Shantae. I'm glad you got clarity about divine replacement. God do things behind the scene. Yep, he really does. Yeah, see what I mean? Back in kids' life more than before, few friends are removed. So those are evidence of how God is moving. Because even though, like, we could start praying, we could start praying. The way, when I started praying, like in the beginning, I started off with the salvation, saving his soul. Then I was like, I try to pray in order, like mind, heart, the pride, I try to like put it all in order. But even when we're praying, that doesn't mean God is about to go in the same order. God come in there and he correct whatever needs to be corrected in that moment. He'll reveal what needs to be revealed. He'll expose whatever needs to be exposed. So we just gotta always be looking or not looking, because we're not even supposed to be looking, right? He said, get out of the kitchen, but whenever you had that contact with your spouse, that's when you can take in and see how God has brought correction. Okay. Tessa said, I know you said food in a dream is witchcraft. I had a dream of three slices of ripped watermelon on a plate. I didn't eat, but when I woke up, I was sent to biblical verse Psalms 128, verse 2. You would eat the fruit. And then you have of your labor, blessing and prosperity will be yours. Okay, you know, if that's what happened and God led you to that, then that's the message He want to give you. I just know from my experience, it was times when I remember, I don't know what it was I was about to eat, but as I because I put the food in my mouth, as soon as I was about to swallow the food, I started choking and I woke up. It was like God was like, it was like He was just like, don't eat it. So it has always been my experience in dreams. Whenever I'm trying to eat or drinking something, God will wake me up. He doesn't allow me to swallow it or eat it. Something always happening. And even when I have ate the food, then I see my life take a turn for the worse, you know. But if that's what God led you to, then hey, that's it. Because interpretation, it belongs to the Lord. If you can name it, you want to pray against it. So Kathy said, what about fantasy relationship, virtual relationship, how to pray? So I rebuke all fantasy relationship. I rebuke that I would group that up under the lust, sexual perversion, fantasy in the mind, masturbation, pornography. I would group that all up under there. And then I would also put that with the counterfeits, right? Because when I rebuking the counterfeits, I don't just say counterfeit. I say I rebuke all counterfeit, Jezebel spirit, Delilah spirit, every seducing spirit. Right? I go in detail, so you can probably add that to it. I rebuke all fantasy relationships. All virtue relationship. I shut your computer down. This is what I say. I shut down your internet connection with these women. With these counterfeits in Jesus' name. So if you can name it, that's your prayer point. Yeah. Hey, Lily. Okay, let me read this again. Sometimes I ran into me in public every time I do a little upgrade. So I'm assuming you're saying you run into your spouse in a public when you do little upgrades like pierce your ears or getting your hair done. Why don't he message me on Facebook or approach? Oh, wait a minute, y'all. Okay. Um, or why he doesn't say hi, babe. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but here's what I will say. Okay. Um, as you are doing your upgrades, the piercing of the ear, getting your hair done, okay. Don't look for him to acknowledge any of it. Okay. Do it for you. Know that you're looking good. And if he see it, he see it. If he don't see it, that's on him. Just keep it moving. Like, um, yeah, I can't tell you why he's not saying it, why he's not. He could see it, he could like it, but then he could be so prideful to where he's like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. I'm not even gonna tell her she's looking good, you know. So, don't worry about it. Yep, those your answers, guys, child. Yes. MCA asks, does the get out of the kitchen phase only happen when divine separation occurs? Yeah, that's how it came about. When God created a divine separation between my spouse and I was being hard headed, was all up in that kitchen, and then he told me, get out of the kitchen, let me cook this love story up. Hey, Tiffany. I am married and in a divine separation. My husband has a married counterfeit. I started praying that my husband let go of her, but nothing yet. How long does it take? I can't tell you how long it take because I will also pray more prayers than your husband letting go of the counterfeit because like go deep in that. And she's married. So number one, your husband doesn't respect your covenant. So that speaks to a lack of character that's going on in your husband. So I want you to write this down because this is a prayer point. So he is dealing with a lack of character. He is not submitted up under God. So that's another prayer point, right? Um, he's committing adultery, right? He's living a whole lie. Okay. These are prayer points. So don't focus in on, I want my husband to let go of her. No, God, I want my husband, I want you to build a whole new husband. I want the kingdom husband who is loving, who, is faithful, who is submitted up under his heavenly father, right? Who live with his wife in an understanding way, right? You want that husband. So go ahead and pray those prayer points over your husband. And I'll just say this, just from speaking from experience. Usually, the counterfeits are the last thing God have them to let go of, and it's really because, take for example, your husband. He's choosing this married counterfeit. So this is where he's at. We choose the people who reflect us. Okay. So this counterfeit, she's married, he's married. Both of them are broken. Both don't respect covenants, right? You see how they choosing one another because they are a reflection of one another. They both value adultery. You see that? So when what I was about to say, oh, so when we waiting on God to correct our husbands, right, and have them to let go of this counterfeit, in order for your husband to be able to let go, but this is not a counterfeit, this called, she would be referred to as the other woman. In order for your husband to let go of this other woman, he has to grow and mature. He got to get a whole different mindset. His mindset has to grow to a whole nother level where he identified what he is doing is wrong, because right now he don't see anything wrong with it, right? He got to be transformed by the renewal of the mind. Then he has to heal because he's cheating. He's committing adultery from a wound that's in his heart. So God has to come in there and heal that part of him, right? Because he's trying to fill a void. It's a void also he's trying to fill. So God got to come in and do that as well. So in order for him to let go of this other woman, a lot of things got to take place. So this is why you don't want to focus on the time frame. Just understand the process. Understand what you are dealing with in your husband. You're dealing with a husband who lack character, who not submitted up under God, who is trying to meet voids, who is hurting on the inside. Okay, this is what you're dealing with. He has insecurities, right? He don't see anything wrong with his behavior. So these are prayer points. And then as we pray these things, we got to wait and allow God to come in and do the correction. He got to tear all that stuff down and rebuild your husband brand new. I don't know, Lily. Yeah. So yeah. I just read your other comment, Yolanda. You said you advised him is wrong. He said, I know, but right now she is my lady. He don't know. If he knew it was wrong, he let me tell you something. If he knew it was wrong, number one, he would have never let come out of his mouth, she is my lady. That tells you the mindset he is at. He don't, he, no, he's very prideful. Okay. and he's trying to throw her in your face to have you feel less than, have you comparing, yourself to her. This is signs of a broken man. You're dealing with a broken husband. Okay, this is what they do. They talk like this. So I think you said you're in a divine separation. I will commit 100% to that divine separation, and I really wouldn't be talking to him because he's a broken man. So destiny, that sounds like a future dream that God is showing you what is to come in the future. She said, I had a dream that my God ordained spouse texted me, wanted to start over and calling me his future wifey. He was also trying to take me on a date that night and bring me breakfast. Should I start expecting it? Yes, you should expect it, but also know that is what is to come in the future. Now listen, don't send me dreams, okay? Y'all want to know what your dreams mean? Head over to godordainedmarriages.com/dream class. Get the replay. Thank you, Judah. I'm waiting to release my marriage. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's true, MCA. Yeah. Yeah. So the biggest thing, when we're dealing with these prodigal is really understanding what you are dealing with. That's why I always say don't focus on the counterfeit, don't focus on the other woman. It's a distraction. Because the devil already know. The devil is like, if I could just get them to focus in on this other woman, this other man, this counterfeit, they're gonna miss all of what's wrong with their prodigal. They're not gonna know what to pray for. They're gonna take all this personal, and you gotta remember the devil is always targeting the believing spouse heart. He's trying to recruit you to his team. So he's like, look at this. You see what they doing together? You see how long they together? He would even speak through your prodigal and say things like how Yolanda husband said, she is my lady. You got to understand the devil's tricks, his tactics, and his schemes so that you can beat him at his own game. Okay? Buzz can represent witchcraft. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah, Yolanda. She said he is broken bad because as soon as I hung up, he said, I love you. Yeah, he's still trying to keep that door open, even though you are his wife, but it's a trick of the enemy. He's trying to keep that door open so that when either he's done with the other woman or whenever they argue and getting into it, he say I love you. So when they get into it, he could come back to you and then mess around with you. And then when y'all get into it, he go to her. That's why I said, I know that's your husband, but you got to get to a point where you stop listening to him say, I love you, and you hold him accountable. If you love me, show me in your action because I'm done listening to your words. You can say that, and then you can also communicate that in your actions to him. But they say this stuff to keep us stuck, never moving forward, always taking them back. Okay, you got to peep the game because this is what he's doing. Okay. My God ordained, who is this? Deanna. My God ordained spouse returned before I came across your channel, and I was not fully healed from past hurt. He has changed, but I still bleed on him. How do I deal with the past hurts now that he's already back? I need specifics, okay? I need to. This is something you would have to like book a session for me to like just really walk you through this process because past hurt is not as simple as saying, "Oh, just forgive." It's not as simple as just saying, "Oh, but let me help give you one breakthrough." No, a lot of past hurts has layers to it. So I'll use Yolanda as a good example. And Yolanda, I think you sent me an email too, but I use her as an example, right? Because she's dealing with layers of things. She's dealing with betrayal, right? Her and then rejection, that what came out of her husband's mouth, she is my lady. Don't no wife want to hear that, you know. So it's like layers of stuff that she's dealing with and will have to heal from. So Deanna, I need to know what all, like how are you bleeding on him? What else are you dealing with in order for me to be able to properly answer your question? Yeah. But also, Yolanda, I was reading your question. I was reading your comment. I know you pray, but also after you pray, I want you to move into doing some healing work, inner healing work. I want you to start taking care of yourself. If you're not, I want you to start leveling up, getting better, raise your standards, set boundaries. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because as you begin to remove the focus off of him and put it on yourself by becoming a better wife in this process, right? Your husband's going to take notice of this. He's going to take notice, like, wait a minute. I see how my wife over there moving. She's over there healing. She's no longer, listen to me tell her I love her, she's short with me. He's going to see this. She's growing as a woman. She's doing her own thing. He's going to naturally have fear that he's about to lose you. And when a man is in that position, not all men, but certain men, when they in this position of or not a fear in losing you, now he's making the decision. Now he's asking himself, do I want this other woman, or do I want to get right for my wife? You put him in that situation, because now he's seeing how you move, and he's seeing how growing and stuff, and he's like, if I don't get it together, another man is gonna come in and wife up my wife. They're gonna come in and take my wife. So after prayer, go ahead and move into um inner healing and deliverance. How do I let forgiveness come because he is still doing it? You So I'm gonna answer this because I think that was you who emailed me. In order for you to start moving into forgiveness towards your husband, you got to do divine separation 100%. Because how can you forgive him if I keep listening to you, I keep answering your call, and you still saying things that's hurting my heart? Soon as I take 1, 2 steps forward in the forgiveness, he pulling you right back into more hurt and pain. So number one, I gotta just block him, for however long. And you blocking him and you not talking to your husband for you, because you know how he has made you feel. You know how your heart is hurting. You know how this man make you feel. So that's first step, and then once you block him, this and that, then you just got to unravel all these things, you got to ask yourself, well, where do I want to start in this process? Do I want to start with the betrayal? Do I want to start with, he could have said some hurtful things to you? Do I want to start with that? You got to choose, where do I want to start? What are the thoughts that keep coming up in my mind? Right? When I think about these thoughts, it causes me to get angry, all over again, or it breaks my heart all over again. You got to pick your starting point. And then when you pick that starting point, then you just start doing the work from there. Okay. But you will only be able to start moving into forgiveness. You got to shut the door on him. And I'm not saying divorce, but you gotta block him out so that you can start healing your heart. It's like I got to get away from the very thing that's hurting me. Oh wow, Tiffany. Tiffany said testimony. I love testimony. She said, Taquila, God is using you so profoundly, sis. With the wisdom and instruction from you regarding this process, I'm seeing results in us both. Plus, fasting paired with prayer. Thanks. That's right. I'm telling you, the process work. We just got to work it. We got to work it, be patient in it. Yeah, and the key really is don't focus on the prodigal, focus on yourself, focus on getting better. Okay. I have a question. God has revealed to me that my God ordained spouse is a prodigal, but we have never met yet. But I know he is. But because he ran from the calling on his life, make him a prodigal. Yeah, right. So what's the question? How do you pray for him? If that's the question, like how do you pray for him? Now that he done ran from his calling, when you pray against that running man's spirit. You also rebuke all fears, the spirit of fear off of him. Pray for his salvation, because it could be other things, other reasons why he's running. It could be counterfeits are just taking up all of his time to where he don't even have time to think about his purpose. um but just start praying and asking God, draw him back home to you, Father. Encounter him everywhere he try to runs to, Father. Shake up his whole entire world until he bow down to you, Father. Rebuke off of him pride, all that stuff. And then also pray for God to send people across his path who have similar callings that he can, look to and get a glimpse of his calling, because he might be afraid of it, and he might see it a different way. But if he sees someone else doing it, that can give him a whole totally different perspective, and it might not seem so fearful, for him to step into it. Okay. All right, Yolanda. Let's see. Do the women most likely pray for the man more than the man pray for the woman in God ordained spouse relationship? I believe so. I believe so. Now, I will give the man credit. I'm going to give my God ordained future husbands credit, because they have been stepping up. They have been, doing the work, signing up for classes, signing up for coaching. So I do see some God ordained future husbands praying and doing the work. They standing for their God ordained prodigal wives, and I salute, I respect all of you are, you're doing the work, but I do believe it's more women praying for the man. I do believe it, but you never know. God is He's gonna catch everyone up in this process. How do you know when you are healing? I was sharing some of it at the beginning of this live. So you are healing when, let's say, you used to have anger issues, and now you don't feel the anger, like you feel peace, come upon you. Or whenever you think about a situation that hurt you in the past, you are moving into a level of healing, because when you think about it now, it doesn't hurt. It don't really bother you. You just like, okay, yeah, that happened. All right. I'm moving forward. Right. This is how you're starting to move into a level of healing. Um, when you're able to stand face to face with the person who hurt you or betrayed you, and you're good. Like, you're not trying to get them back. You're not trying to do any payback, try to seek any revenge, and you good, and you could talk to them. That's how you are healing. And really, when I don't expect anything from that person, and I'm just like, I'm okay. God made it up for it. I discovered all the lessons, in the breaking. I'm good. That's how you are really moving into healing. I'll tell you the word of the Lord. God gave me for 2022. I thought at that time, because that's when I was mentoring the single mothers I thought he was, when he gave me this word, I thought he was talking about absent fathers. But for 2022, I heard God say, I'm requiring obedience. I'm done playing. He was like, I'm requiring obedience. I'm done playing. He's taking back his marriages. So, hey, Sylvester. And we already see some of it, happening now, how people are being exposed. Some people are coming down. We see that already. How do I know that the prayers are working? Been praying for a while now, still no change in him. Well, number one, your prayers require faith. Okay, so before I even say looking at your spouse, you got to have faith in knowing that my prayers are like God hear my prayers and they are working. Okay. After that, I know my prayers are working because whenever you do look at your spouse, or just a situation or hear about it, you can hear how God is doing things. Like, I don't know no other way to say this, but like I was telling the other one, you know, people might come back and say, "Oh, your spouse, they no longer hanging around such and such." If that was a prayer point, your prayers are working. Or another way, God can show you your prayers are working in your dreams. Okay, all this year, God has shown me my spouse judgment. Some of it is prayers answered. What He has shown me. So if you're not seeing it in the physical, look at your dreams, okay? Because God can show you in a dream, you know, what is to come or what has already happened. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah. Look at Sylvester put that MR. He put the MRS in my name. I know that's right. Go ahead and claim it. Um, yep. I like that radiant sun. How do you know when a divine separation will end? You would know because God would tell you. God tells you, I think it's Amos. Amos saying God does nothing without first revealing it to his prophet. So before God bring your divine separation to an end, he's going to reveal it to you. He's going to reveal, okay, I'm sending your prodigal back. Or he might reveal your prodigal is going to call you, you know, or however way he reveal it to you. He's going to let you know before it happened, your prodigal coming back. And then when it actually happened, that's when you're no longer in a divine separation. Okay. Yep. Prophesying the wolves and sheep clothing around them, friends, family, and counterfeit. Yep, you're welcome. And see, this right here can be because a lot of you are saying, I'm not seeing any signs God is moving according to my prayers. So just like Tiffany said, she said, it's been tough in a separation, but he texted me, he received Christ. And so just by him texting her that, and if that was her prayer point, I'm sure it was, that is God showing Tiffany, I'm moving according to your prayers. Okay. Got him right back, restored with Christ. Yeah. And another way how you know your prayers are being answered, whenever if you encounter your spouse and let's say some in their own little way they admit to how they did you wrong, or they might apologize. That's a prayer answered, because that means God correct them. That means God humble them to a certain level to where now they're able to see the error in their own ways. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Is it normal for things to get worse with the prodigal spouse when fasting and praying? Can the enemy use them to say hurtful things to discourage us from hoping for restoration? Yes. So those are, it is normal. Let me just say that it is normal for things to get worse. Just expect that. Soon as you start praying, day one, soon as you start praying, rebuking these spirits off of your spouse, it's normal for the enemy to do a counter attack. It's normal for your, if you run into your spouse and they behave, they worse, they 10 times worse. What's going on is the demons. That's that demon pride, that spirit of pride, that spirit of anger. Those are demons, right? So when you start praying and rebuking and binding, people like me come out. You start moving into deliverance on your spouse. The demons, because they've been inside of your spouse for so long, they just set up. They like, this my house, and so they become stubborn. And the stubbornness is showed. It manifests in your spouse by their anger increased 10 times. You know, they start saying hurtful things to you. That's the demon speaking through your spouse. And the demon is trying to scare you away. The demon is stubborn. It's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, right? But that's when you continue to press into prayer. You continue to rebuke, bind, command that spirit to come out, okay? And don't listen to anything that spirit is saying back to you. But the enemy can, it's the demon that's saying the hurtful things to you. And also, let me say this, it's a spirit called disgust that will show up on your prodigal's face. So when you see that, try not to take it personal and try not to think, oh, my spouse isn't attracted to me. They disgusted with me. No, that's a spirit. And so that's a prayer point when you want to call it out of their face, because God is showing you the spirit is in their face. So call it out. Even and let me just go a step further. Even with lust, when you're talking with your spouse, you know your spouse is dealing with a spirit of lust whenever they can't keep their tongue in their mouth. So you could be observing your spouse look at another woman, and then you will see them licking their lips. You'll see their tongue like hanging out on the side. That's a spirit. That's a spirit manifesting in them. So you could begin to call that up out of them. Okay. Not right away. Proverbs girl. She said, should we share with Kingdom Spouse all of the dreams God has revealed when they return? Not right away. Wait till, I would probably wait until y'all get married to share those dreams. I really would. I would probably wait till y'all get married, but don't share it right away. Uh-uh. Let your spouse tell you how God been correcting them and talking to them. Catherine say, is it possible to feel what our ordained is feeling? Yeah, I've been dreaming, and in the dreams, he's like longing for your girl. Yeah, it is possible. It's I'm trying to think of this one thing. God would also give you a song. Like God would place a song in your mouth. It's like you would think you made up the song, but he would give you a song, have you sing the song to reveal how your spouse feel. Oh, okay. That's great, Yolanda. Yeah. Yeah, so when God speak, Proverbs said, I've been having dreams for years about the return, still waiting on them to come to pass. When God speak, when he give you dreams, such as their return, it doesn't mean it's about to happen like next week or next month. Um, just know that it's going to happen in God's timing. Not necessarily, Lily. With the season of summer, not necessarily. You gotta look at that whole dream and get the interpretation from the Lord. Lady lawyer, I'm laughing because let me tell you something. I'm laughing because when I was mentoring the single mom, they were saying the same thing. They was like, "You're gonna be big time tequila, and you're gonna forget all about us." She said, "When you continue to teach us once you're married, I am, I am. This is my assignment, you know. And once I get married, my spouse gonna be on here teaching the God ordained future husband, you know, about manhood, masculinity, how to be vulnerable, how to trust, all that stuff. I ain't going anywhere. Only when God say it's time to go to the next level, then that's when I have to go." Is it normal for him to say he misses me, but doesn't think he would be happy? We would be happy together. He doesn't know why. He's a prodigal. That sounds like a prodigal. I need some water. I need some water, y'all. He sounds like a prodigal, but don't get caught up on the words. Okay, that's another one. Remember, I was saying earlier. I'm not sure where you jumped in on a live at, but see, these men, they would keep you stuck. They try to keep women stuck, right? On them when they know they're not ready, when they know they probably don't know they're a prodigal, but they would try to keep us stuck by saying, "I love you, I miss you." But what comes after that tells you where they at, right? So he just said, he doesn't know if y'all would be happy together, right? But he threw in there, "I miss you." Don't get stuck on that. He sounds like a prodigal that needs some correction. Um, and he could be speaking the truth. Like he don't he's not he can't he haven't figured out in his mind yet if y'all would be a happy couple. And that is because however way he defined happiness in a relationship, you know, he probably already know that's not how you defined it. So he just needs some more correction. But don't let him get you stuck on misses. You know, when he say stuff like "I miss you," whatever, you better show me in your action how you know how much you miss me. I'm telling you, don't play with these men. Don't play with them. I need some water. 1 second. Okay. My kingdom spouse. My kingdom spouse is in a relationship with another, and I have been so disturbed and confused, but I am trusting God. Just rebuke it and bind it. Rebuke that counterfeit in Jesus' name. You don't got to be disturbed or confused by what did God say. He said you're the spouse, so believe that God is going to remove every counterfeit that tries to sit in your seat. Believe that, call on the God of war. You know, that's one of God's name. Call on the God of war and ask God, go ahead and fight on my behalf. Go ahead and remove every counterfeit that's standing in my spouse's way, blocking our blessings, and then start working on you. Get better. Get better, because that's what catches their attention. Hey, built in fire. Okay. Ask God to give you that dream back, and He will. Yeah. See, here's another correction. I want to point these out so y'all know how correction look or how God is answering your prayer. So Kathy said talking about her prodigal. He has moved beyond the disgust. Now is nice and smiling. So there you go. That's another way how we identify God is moving and answering our prayers. Or we also see a deliverance taking place in her prodigal. Right. Yeah, the man, yeah, I don't know how God communicate that to the man, but he would let them know, you can't pursue my daughter until you deal with these things. And she said she got evidence of this today. Yeah. I just realized what you're talking about, Radio Son. Yeah. You see me writing a book on the supernatural. See, you're a prophet because you're a prophet because I don't. I'm not writing a book on the supernatural, but I am in that area, and only a prophet would know that. No, 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 no. Okay, because I see this. I see y'all saying this a lot. Amber said, so I prayed out loud, asking God to give my kingdom spouse a dream about me as confirmation. 2 days later, he called me and said he had a dream about me and he wouldn't tell me what happened. And then the other comments say, could the enemy interfere and give me false confirmation? That was the Lord confirming to you. Okay. Um, that was the Lord. Okay. See, our brain is programmed to look for the negative in everything. And this is what I want to make everyone aware of. Okay. You got to go against your brain. You got to retrain your brain to not immediately look for or assume that this is the enemy. That's God. You prayed out loud. I know people say, the devil can hear your prayers. Yeah, but God hear him too. But you prayed out loud. You asked God, to give your spouse a dream. He did. Your spouse told you, right? Called you up and told you. He just didn't tell you the dream. So that was the Lord confirming that. Angela. I know your YouTube name now. How are you? Taisha, I think that's how I pronounce it. Go to godordainedmarriages.com. Let me put the banner up. /dream class and get the replay so you can know what God is speaking to you concerning your prodigal. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Can God communicate to you through YouTube videos? Yes. Yep. My experience, God, that's how I got started in this process. He led me right here to YouTube. But not to every video, not to like all these different videos. He led me here and I don't even know how this one lady came up on my feed, but this was last year. I was at work and I don't know. I don't even know what made me click on her video, but when I clicked on her video, what caught my attention was she was sharing a dream the Lord gave her 10 years ago. Do you hear me? She was sharing a dream the Lord gave her 10 years ago, and she said the Lord told her to share it now. The dream she shared was what I went through last year in August. I was like, and here I go. I said, Lord, you knew I was gonna go through that, and you let me go through this, right? So but that was how God caught my attention and was letting me know, stay here, subscribe to her channel, and listen because he used her to help navigate me through this process. And then when he was done with her, because God keep it moving. When he was done with her, he led me to someone else, and that's how God speak to me. But yeah, he could communicate through YouTube videos. Hmm. Oh yes, Tiffany. Yes, you. Let me tell you something. I already got it mapped out. When these marriages come together, I want y'all to tell me. I want you to send me an email. I want you to show the ring. I want to see the wedding. I want to see it. Okay. I want to see it because I'm not going to say everything because, people be hating. They be trying to take my ideas and stuff. But I got some plans in place on what I want to do. So let me know. Hmm. Yes. See, so that word was meant for you, Pam. That's a spirit. So don't take it personal. It's a spirit. Whenever you're this for anybody, whenever you look at your prodigal and when they look at you, it's a spirit of disgust. I mean, they face is it look disgusted. That's a spirit. Okay. I was at Myers. We got Myers over here. I was at Myers last week, and I don't really look people in the face when I'm out. I just go on about my business, and keep it moving. But I looked up and I seen this man looking dead at me. But it was like he was mean mugging me. And I'm looking and I'm like, why he looking at me like this? Why you mean mugging me? But I think he was trying to flirt. I think that was his way. And then he kind of like rolled his eyes a little bit. And I said to myself, I said, if this evil spirit don't go on somewhere and stop playing with me, okay, you better go ahead on. Cause that's what it was. Rolling his eyes at me and stuff. Just crazy. Oh, you was led to the videos? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So God speaks to me through YouTube videos, and God told me to start writing down all the YouTube videos and the revelation. Yep. Now this is a great question. This is a great question. How do you know if a prophetic word video is for you? I can only tell you when I know. Because last year I used to think every prophetic word was for me. Oh, they used to get me so hyped. Oh, it's about to happen. Your prodigal is coming. It's happening soon. It's your time, right? Oh, I was boy. And so I got frustrated and I said, you know what? I said, I'm sick of this. Okay. I'm sick of this. So the way how I know a prophetic word is for me, and this is how God trains me. Because I give you an example. This was probably 2 months ago. Um I asked God it was something I asked God, concerning a situation. I asked him concerning a situation, and I'm used to God answering me immediately. Okay. He don't go months. I asked him a question today. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have my answer in the morning. So I asked him this question this one particular day. The very next day, the lady who I watched, she came out with a video talking about the very question I asked God, and I was like, I said, "There go my answer. Thank you, Lord." You know, so I don't know. I think when the word is for you, it will convict your spirit, right? It would be confirmation to you. Now, I want to caution everybody because some of you begin caught up on you make everything out to be your word. You see 111. That's confirmation. Like come on now, calm down. You know, just keep it like the main thing. Like I don't know. I just know how I know what my word is and what's not for me. Like there's videos now where they already talking about your prodigal is coming. Well, God already told me when mine's coming. So I don't have to get all hyped up, when I see these videos. I know who lying and who not. So I think it goes back to just having your own personal relationship with the Lord, but also knowing too what God has already spoken to you. You know, for me, I don't need many confirmation. I just know, like God said it, it's going to happen. I feel the conviction. You know, when God speak, and using when He confirmed prophetic word. I mean, when He's confirming my word, it has to do with a question I asked Him probably the night before. Yeah. Yep. Um, won't a man wait on revealing you're his spouse due to God's timing too? He could wait. Um, that might be a question you want to ask to a man. He could wait, because I see that I can answer that several different ways. A prodigal will wait on revealing that you are their spouse because they know they're not ready yet. They know, they still mess around with these counterfeit women, so they will wait to reveal that. And then depending on how that prodigal messed up with you, your prodigal probably, because see, this is part of God's correction and his process. So when God is sending the prodigal back, God is also has told the prodigal how to come back and pursue you. He's telling them this. You pursue my daughter this way, right? At least that's what God say to me. So your prodigal won't tell you or announce that you're their spouse because they want to come back and make it up to you, right? They might want to come back and do a public proposal, or just a surprise in it. Okay. And then we got other guys who, when they know you're their wife and they're ready to propose, they're gonna propose to you right then and there. I just said, will you come to my wedding in June or July of 2023? Yeah, yeah, you gotta let me know ahead of time so I could go ahead and plan for it. Sure will. Girl, I'll be there, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, telling everybody we got a testimony. You see what I mean, Tessa? I thought all those prophetic words were for me, up here getting upset with God. I was frustrated. I said, you know what? I'm sick of this. Yeah. Taisha said, I can see the hurt in my prodigal eyes, but what comes out of his mouth don't align with his looks. Yeah. And so he is hurting inside. And the hurt you see in his eyes, I'm not sure if you're talking about like maybe, he know that he has hurt you and that's what you see, or maybe you could just see the hurt and pain that's he's dealing with, but what's coming out of his mouth, it has a lot to do with what's going on inside, right? The Bible say out of the what it say, out of the mouth the heart speaks. So what's in his heart is now coming out of his mouth, that hurt and pain. And it'll come out, just being abusive, critical, mean, very hurtful, cold hearted, but it's just showing you what's in his heart. And this is what we're dealing with in this world. Mm-mm. Can God communicate through tarot readers? No, because they make themselves an enemy to God. Nope. I had multiple tarot readers talk about specific details about me and my spouse. It's almost creepy. Yes. And so if you haven't already, you want to go ahead and repent for that, go into those readers. You want to also break, because see, the danger in this, when you go to tarot readers, psychics, trying to think of the other ones. When we go to all these things, even horoscope, dipping dab and horoscope, but not the horoscope. When we go to these people and they looking into our prophecy and stuff, see what you don't know what they are doing when you leave. Okay, you don't know whatever that's taking place when you're not there. So this is where you want to repent. You want to ask God, whatever that tarot reader, sent over my prophecy, I rebuke it, bind it, destroy it in the spirit realm. Don't let it come to pass, Father. You know, but no, they make themselves an enemy to God. It's only one God. It's only one person. We're supposed to go to figure out details about our life. Listen, MCA, I don't know why that man was mean mugging me. I was like, that is a whole spirit in him. And I just think, they could be mean mugging too. It's that spirit. It's that spirit mean bugging. Hmm. Yeah. Facebook user said, "What's so crazy? God spoke through my God ordained spouse in the beginning. Um, he spoke. He believes I'm his missing piece. Then God immediately had me on this journey and revealed what that meant. Yeah. Hmm. And your spouse, he could be prophetic. And what he said is true. You know, but he also know, he needed some work to be done on him as well. Oh, MCA. He said, should I just straight up text my wife and call her, hey, wifey? Or would that be weird since we don't know each other? Don't do that. Don't do that. I would really let your wife just come to you because you already been texting her and stuff. And you know how she been responding, you know. So I would let her come to you. Don't text her that because that might, you never know how that might move her. If she haven't got that revelation from the Lord yet that she's your wife, then she's going to reject that. So don't put yourself in that position to be rejected. Yeah. So rest in that built-in fire. She said God said He told him to wait till I moved in His time, and I almost have. Then He told me He's being patient to reveal because He knows. Yeah. So just rest in what God told you, you know, and then start taking steps on what God told you to do, and let your prodigal catch up. Yeah. So this been good. How long I've been on here? Hour and a half. Okay. Yeah. So listen, if you all haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. And if you a first timer, this your first time catching me live, hit the subscribe button as well. Yeah, we know how to reply to me since she was. Yeah, you gotta wait for her to respond. Because there was a lot of guys claiming me as their wife. They was calling me by their last name, and I was like, it was irritating me. I'm not gonna lie. It was really irritating me because I was like, I'm not your wife. I was going back and forth with this one man. I'm like, I'm not your wife. You stop calling me that. It ain't gonna never come to pass. And it was moving me to anger, because I felt like they were trying to force me into liking them. So that's why I was saying don't do that because you never know how she's going to take it. Yeah, Melissa, hold on. She said, "What does it mean if two people call you their guardian angel? One was my God ordained spouse, and then a friend. Well, your God ordained spouse, he could refer to you as his guardian angel, meaning he probably recognized you as someone who looks out for him, like in prayer, in ways that he needed. That's probably what he mean. I'm not sure about the friend, but yeah, but it's simply that they see you as their guardian angel, someone who like know how to intercede on their behalf and help them and protect them. Okay, Judah wife said that's how the fall video was for me. Yeah, yeah. Strength, how do I don't know. You got to finish that up. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm about to go and relax. I'm gonna upload some more videos to the channel. In the meantime, everyone enjoy. Okay, there go your question. How is there a way to get your mind to stop thinking about your prodigal? Excuse me. Is there a way to get your mind to stop thinking about your prodigal spouse and let go of the great moments while they're doing prodigal stuff and don't want to be with you? Yeah, the best way how you can get your mind to stop thinking about your prodigal spouse is by you gotta. I said this yesterday in our Facebook group. Find you a project, that you could throw yourself into, something you could work on. If you always wanted to write a book, now is your time. Okay, you got to throw yourself into something that's going to consume, almost all of your time. Okay, if you know what your purpose is, get in it, right? Because when I'm over here putting together classes, I don't have time to think about my spouse because I'm over here when this internet stuff, this online stuff, I'm over here building classes, writing books, doing video. That takes up my time, which also means my mind is not on my spouse, it's on this work. So you got to find things that's going to take your mind off of your spouse. And then that could be something as simple as go find you a hobby, right? Or go take a class, go um you know study something. You just got to find something to put your mind on that's going to help take your thoughts off of your prodigal. Start focusing on your life. Okay, what area of my life do I want to start improving in, right? And then start there. mm. And that I can see that. She said the funny thing is my kingdom spouse led me closer to God and he went further away. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. But just go ahead and pray him back, pray him on back home to his father. She will accept the MCA once God revealed it to her. Nope. Divine separation means divine separation. Linda said, "Is it okay? Is it okay to say Happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas or Happy Passover to your kingdom spouse during separation?" No, no. Could they still a prodigal, right? You don't want to get your hopes up because let's say you text them or call them just to say Merry Christmas, right? And they're gonna be talking good that day, and then now you're like, oh, okay, maybe we're not in divine separation anymore, right? And then let's say y'all continue to talk for a week, only for you to look on social media and bam, he back with the counterfeit. Now you back hurt, right? So don't even open that door back up. Let God get your prodigal all the way together. If they want to tell you Merry Christmas, happy, well, we already passed Thanksgiving. If they want to tell you all that, let him say it and come to you and say it. Oh, thank you so much, Tessa. God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Facebook group. Let me see. I think I got a banner for that. Yep. That's the link to the Facebook group. Over on Facebook, it's called Community for God Ordained Spouses. Make sure when you request to join the group, you fill out, you answer the question so that I can approve you, into the group. Strip said the holiday is hard with everyone with their husbands and wives, knowing your prodigal doesn't care about your well being and doesn't text or call you. How do prodigal spouses easily disconnect so easily? Because they're emotionally unavailable. They never connected on that level. It may seem like it, but they are emotionally unavailable. Now, the way how you handle this is that a lot of this is inner healing work, okay? Because like it is true, the prodigal, they act like they don't care for your well-being. They don't text, they don't call, they very selfish, right? That is true. But I have to move to a space where my prodigal showing me he don't care, not calling or texting, it doesn't affect me. That's my responsibility, right? This is the work that we're supposed to be doing in a divine separation, right? So you got to ask yourself, okay, what work do I need to do that's going to get me to a place where I no longer care, if my prodigal call or text. I no longer care, how my prodigal feel. And I know that sounds harsh, but really, like you got to get to that place where you just say, I don't care what you think. I'm over here living my best life. And when you ready to come, and identify me as your spouse, come get me. You got to have that type of mindset so that it's not holding you back, so that it's not having you not enjoy the holidays that's coming up. And I think I'm able to handle it because it's always just been me, my children and I. It's always been this way. So I just be like, whatever. It's easy for me to let people go. I don't get hung up on it. I just see things for what it is and I keep it moving. Yeah. That's good, MCA. Keep using that term. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel you, Taisha, she was saying she's at a place where she don't care. She said, I told God I don't even want him no more, but God told me to keep standing. Yeah. You kind of do get to that place. You be like, look, just like who was that? Ian Brown was saying, I'm not praying anyone back. I saw him move back 4 times and he never came. So I'm done with all this back and forth. We get tired of the back and forth. We really do. And I ain't gonna lie, that's where I'm at. I told God, I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm like, I'm just focused on this. This is what I'm focused on. My purpose, my children, and God. I was like, when you are ready for your son to come, when you're ready for us to come in this marriage, then you're gonna make it happen. But in the meantime, I'm living my best life. I don't care anymore, right? And we get to that point, you know. I really do think it's foolishness, how these prodigals be going back and forth, and it's because they not in their right mind, but you just got to get to a place in this process where you say, I don't care. I don't care what you over there doing. I know what I need to be over here doing. As long as, and my attitude has been with God, as long as you continue to take care of me and my children, I don't care. I don't care. That's why I was saying in a previous video, I was saying something like basically don't wait for your prodigal, don't look to your prodigal to come save you. Because you would be very disappointed. You gotta save yourself. You gotta live your life. You gotta make the best of your own life. Okay. It's the same mindset. Should married spouses have a different mindset from the kingdom spouses? No. There are there a difference in what to do or not to do when standing. No, it's really the same process. What's missing? This is what I have identified that's missing in some of y'all love story, even the married people. What's missing, and I really do believe this is why God sent me here, because he knew I was going to identify it. What's missing is it's a lack of standards. There's little boundaries in place, little to no boundaries in place. There's no accountability with these prodigals, right? We are lacking self love within ourselves. We also need inner healing. Once we master these five things, and do some deliverance, okay? And this is for standards and God ordained spouse, we will be good. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, once we master these things, we love ourselves, we putting ourselves first, we healing, going through deliverance, we raising our standards, enforcing our boundaries and holding them accountable. When you get to that level, you be like, I don't care. It's when you get to that level, you have this mindset where you tell yourself and you communicate this in your language, your body language to your spouse, like you're not even coming back wrong. You're gonna come back correct, or you ain't coming back at all. You get to that level, right? So it's the same mindset. It's the same mindset. MCA, you already know the answer to that question. Now, if you entertain that Christian woman because you never had a woman do this before, then you gonna have to deal with what comes with that. And see, I'm gonna tell you something, because the devil know our man weaknesses. He know all I gotta do is dangle a woman in their face, you know, something they never had before, to get them distracted and off path. He know this, so he'd do it, right? So you got to ask yourself, okay, do I want to entertain this Christian woman that's reaching out to me? Why is she really reaching out to me? Who sent you? You got to say that sometimes. Who sent you? And am I ready to be distracted? Because that's why she coming. You didn't lose a friend. You didn't lose a friend. Logan said, my God ordained spouse and I were friends for a year through a hobby. God told me to stay friends with him and not to have sex. He blocked me because I wouldn't sleep with him, and now we don't talk. I lost a friend. You didn't lose a friend. You lost a person who was never your friend in the first place, right? That's not friendship. That's not what it means to be a friend. You lost someone who was, who had their representative on, right? Who was there, with conditions, okay? You didn't lose your friend, okay? You want to lose that. You want to lose that version of him, okay? And that's good that you didn't have sex with him, because now when he has sex with all these other counterfeits, you are going to be the one who's still in his mind, even if he don't say anything. You're going to be the one when at nighttime he's going to be like, man, this is how they talk, I still haven't, banged her. you know I done did all them over there, but I still haven't got her, right? And that communicate self-love, respect, standards. It separate you from them counterfeits, okay? So you ain't lose a friend. You lost someone who was trying to act like and portray themselves as a friend, but was exposed. See, his friendship stopped when you turn him down for sex. That's not what it means to be a friend. Facebook user said, preach it, Taquila. God is speaking loud through you today. Thank you. I really wish I could be that way. Let's say finding peace. Okay. I really wish I could be that way. So it's been some time. My family started to suspect me and my husband not together. Okay. I don't want to really share, but how do I tell them when they ask? I'm ashamed. You don't have to be ashamed of that, you know. And it's easy for me to say that, right? It's easy for me to say you don't gotta be ashamed of, but this is what you're dealing with. But here's the thing: if your family is starting to suspect that you and your husband, yeah, you and your husband not together, and now they starting to, let's say they want to know, you ask yourself, okay, let me first say this: this is your life, this is your marriage, and if you don't want anyone to know your business, you don't have to tell them. Now you may come from a family who has trained and conditioned you to tell them all your business. If that's the case, then it's all about let me relearn how to be, right? It's all about I'm a grown adult here, and this is what's going on between my husband and I. If I don't want y'all in my business, I'm not gonna let y'all be in my business. If you ask me about what's going on, I'm gonna tell you in my own little way. Oh, we working on a few things, and then I'm gonna change the subject, right? But you don't gotta feel ashamed about what's going on. You know, in relationship, things happen, things come up. I don't gotta feel ashamed about it. But you don't gotta tell them your business. And you phrase the question. You said, "How do I tell them when they ask?" You don't have to tell them. It's none of their business. That's what I want you to entertain. I don't have to tell them. My husband and I, we working on a few things. How was your day today? Change the subject. How is your relationship? Like ask them, how was your relationship with such and such? Change it. You don't gotta have them all in your business. That's right. Come correct or don't come at all. Let me tell y'all something. Next week we going in. I'm gonna break all this stuff down. Okay. Hold on. I'm confused, MCA. I'm confused. You said, I hope my God ordained wife doesn't commit to me or accept me as her God ordained husband only when if I have social status because she has more followers on her social media than I do on my YouTube channel. Why are you comparing yourself to her influence? Don't do that. But I don't get it. I only have 170 subscribers, but I'm still thankful for them. Yeah, but don't drift over into that. See, you open the door to the enemy. And you don't need status in order for her to claim you as her God ordained husband. See, because the danger in what you just said, that's why I had to keep reading it over and over again. The danger in what you are saying is, I'm looking for it's more so it came across to me like I want the status, I want the influence, then okay, you can share who I am to, our followers, because I'm looking for their approval or whatever, you don't want that. Okay. I could have 0 subscribers and still announce and claim my God ordained husband. It doesn't define me, it doesn't move me, it doesn't say, I'm less than, none of that. Not worthy, none of that. Okay. Okay, this last question. When what about when people update you on Kingdom Spouse with other women? If you don't like what they're updating you on, if you don't like the information they bring it back to you, if it's causing you more heartache and pain, if it's causing you to get upset, move you to anger, even causing you to doubt what God said, then you can stop talking to these people. You can ask these people, don't give me any, well, you could tell them, don't give me any more updates about him. Um, If they say why, because I don't want any more updates about them. I'm trying to move forward. I'm working on me. So please do not update me when you hear things or see things about, I don't know if they know this is your spouse or not. But yeah, you can let them know to stop updating you. And if they continue, you can move yourself away from them. Or you can just simply let them go. Because at the end of the day, you got to check in and look at how it's making you feel when they update you about your spouse. And if you try to heal right now and hear the enemy come with this new information, pulling you back down, making you feel this type of way, I got to cut you off now. Okay. Okay, let's see. Last two. I don't recognize my hubby. Okay. I don't recognize my husband, a different person. I don't recognize my husband. Okay. I don't recognize my husband, a different person, doing things with women, substance, not my best friend, no emotional connection. It hurts. How am I supposed to love myself when the first person that was supposed, oh, don't anymore? Well, loving yourself has nothing to do with your husband. It has nothing to do with him or how he shows up in your life. It has nothing to do with him not loving you anymore. See, your love, it can't be dependent on someone else, right? I said this about, when we get our worth from material possession. If I get my worth based upon the car I drive, let's say they come and repo that vehicle. Am I no I'm not worthy anymore? Am I not good enough because I don't have that vehicle anymore? So I can't put my worth in that. I can't love myself based upon this man being in my life and loving me. Because when he act a fool and leave and decide he want a divorce, it doesn't mean I'm unlovable. No. Okay. So when we talk about self-love, we're gonna go into this next week, but I'm gonna get you started. The way your first step in understanding how to love yourself, you got to understand where love comes from. Where's my Bible? You have to understand where love comes from because I want to make you aware. I want to make everyone aware of something. Okay. First John. Type this in the chat. First John chapter 4 verse 7. First John chapter 4 verse 7. Let me keep your comment right here. Okay. It says love comes from God, right? Put it in the chat. First John chapter 4 verse 7. Love comes from God. And then it goes on to say that God is love. Now where's that part? Everyone who loves everyone. Okay, and it's saying verse 8 that God is love, right? So this is our foundation, okay? Love comes from God because God is love. Now, when you go into Genesis, right? When you go into Genesis, okay, I believe it's probably chapter 2, where it talks about that God created man in his image, right? In the image of God, he created you and I, right? So if I'm created in God's image, and if God is love, and I was created in love, right? That means because God is spirit. So that also means my spirit already is love. Like it already know what love is, right? And usually when we find ourselves, I feel like I'm about to go on a full teaching. Lord have mercy. Usually when we find ourselves suffering from a lack of self-love or feeling unlovable, right? It is because I have gotten so far away from my source, from God. I have gotten so far away from God to where I don't even recognize myself. I forgot that love is already on the inside of me. I forgot it, right? I don't gotta search for anything that's out that I already have, right? So going back, let me try to say it another way for you. Your husband stopped loving you, but that doesn't mean you're unlovable because love is already on the inside of you. You just not aware of it. You're not aware of it. Love is who you are. I don't have to search for love because it's already within me. I now have to look within. I have to open up this Bible and learn about my Heavenly Father so that I can begin to discover I'm already loved. I'm loved by God, right? I love myself. I just gotta get in tune with it, right? I gotta accept that love I have for myself. This world, your husband, for a good example, is teaching you how to hate yourself. This is why you're feeling like I can't. How can I love myself? He'd have taught you how to hate yourself. He taught you how to reject yourself. He taught you how to be dependent on his love. Now that's a toxic man. That's a broken man. Okay. Because a kingdom man would teach you, you know what he won't even teach you. A kingdom man look for a woman who already love herself, right? But let's say a kingdom man stumble upon a woman who is lacking self-love. He won't allow you to be dependent on his love. A kingdom man would turn you back to your father and say, because he don't want that codependency on him. He gonna be like, no, you gotta look to your heavenly father for love. He would even sit you down and teach you how to love yourself. What I'm getting at here is no matter how your husband shows up, it's not supposed to move how you feel about yourself. I love me because love is already on inside of me. I love me because God loves me, right? I love me because I'm worth it. I mean, you got to really go there, and it's not enough to just say I love me. I have to know that I'm a lovable person. I gotta, cause love, like loving yourself, it goes into layers. I gotta like myself. I gotta approve of myself. I gotta accept myself, right? For me to really arrive to a level of self-love, I gotta go through these things. I gotta forgive myself. I gotta start taking care of myself. The very areas my husband neglected to take care of me, he emotionally neglected me. I now have to give these things to myself. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop there because I feel a whole teaching about to come up, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. All right, okay, friend. Hey, let me tell you something. She said, "Funny you should talk about not caring phase. Today, for the first time, I missed his call. When I saw it, I literally rolled my eyes and said, if it is that important, you would call again or that." That's right. That's right. You get to that point where you be like, whatever, you know. Okay. What if your God ordained spouse don't look nowhere near ready, not walking in purpose, financially very immature? It's so discouraging. You hear how I keep on saying they better catch up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You continue to pray. Don't allow what you see to cause you to move out of your position. You continue to pray. You continue to get ready. You continue to prepare. Okay. Just know and have faith in God is going to get your prodigal ready. He's going to catch him up. Your mindset should be when he's ready, when he's walking in purpose, financially stable and mature, catch me. Okay? Like come get me, right? Like I'm not going backwards. I'm not waiting. I'm not, gonna keep checking. You better catch up. That should be your attitude, okay? That should be your attitude, you know. For some of these prodigals, they got a lot of pride. So, but it ain't like God can't humble them, okay? But you don't gotta put your life on hold. It don't even gotta be discouraging to you. Just continue to pray and just know, as you hear our testimonies of how God is doing this and that, that should encourage your spirit. But also, you should adopt an attitude. Well, when he get ready, he better catch up and come on, because you're not waiting. Like even God don't even wait. God, he said, "You up under my wrath," and God keep on moving. God don't even wait, right? So we're not waiting. You catch up. Catch up when you get there. You're welcome, Proverbs. Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. See, Tiffany getting it. She said she realized that God needed to do a work in me too. The thing that He's correcting in us during separation is to prevent a separation later. Exactly. We can only get better. Let God do it. That's right. That's right. It was some things I was dragging my feet on with my children. It really was. I was dragging my feet, just in motherhood. And last year, I think I broke through, in my mindset, because when you're dealing with all this anger and pain, hurt, bitterness in your heart, that weighs you down to where you're like, I don't even feel like doing anything. And so something in me broke because I moved right into responsibility. I say, okay, let's get it done. We about to do X, Y, and Z, right? And I just started accomplishing the things, and that's what God wanted to do in me, right? He's like, you're not about to take that into no marriage. You do it. And I had to get it done. Okay, y'all, I keep on saying this is the last one. Yep. Oh, I got a call at 3 o'clock. I thought it was three. Okay. What is it? Okay, I just why would God pick someone like that for me? God didn't pick that prodigal. The prodigal is of the enemy. God picked the spouse who's going to be walking in purpose, who's going to be financially wealthy, who he's gonna come into wealth. He picked the one who's going to be in a right mind, serving the Lord with their whole heart. That's who God picked. What you see today is a result of your prodigal being disobedient to the Lord and having that door open to the enemy. You can have a private, you can have whatever you want, MCA, whatever kind of wedding you want, that's what you have. You're welcome. You're going to need coaching, finding peace. This is something you got to grow into. Okay. I know I come on here and I say, forget this, forget that. I make it sound easy, but I had to grow into this. Okay. So you gotta see the value in investing in yourself, like financially, like into a coach or counseling or books, but you gotta pick a starting point so that you can grow into becoming a woman that shows up in that way. Taisha said, don't stop, let God use you. We are so mismatched, not only spiritually, and he had prodigal. Yeah, but God is going to, that's why the divine separation happened. The Bible said, can two, what is that? Can two walk together except they agree, right? That's why y'all mismatch. Y'all not agreeing on anything. So keep praying so that God can get y'all in agreement, you know, walking together. Yeah. Oh, he's up under God's wrath. He's up under, if he's not being obedient, he's up under God's wrath. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What happened if you start praying for your God ordained spouse? God will actually allow you to take a break, and then he's gonna say something to you, or have you see something that's gonna pull you back into your prayer closet. But I don't want y'all to take this mindset. I'm gonna stop praying. No, we praying. Pray without season. Okay. They will know. She said, does the prodigal know it's judgment when God does it? They will know. They wouldn't, they might not have the language. They might not say judgment. Because I know when I was going through my judgment, I didn't know anything about God's judgment. I kept praying out to God. It was like, what did I do wrong? I was like, I'm sorry, right? Because there was just so much stuff going on. So they might not have the language, but they would know, like, I messed up. They're gonna be praying, asking God to forgive them, make things right, then they're gonna be walking right because they're gonna be learning. Like in God's judgment, you learn your lesson. You're gonna learn it, and you're gonna grow from it. It's just the way how God's judgment is set up because I thought I was gonna die in God's judgment. I was like, that was my prayer every day. God, don't let me die. If something do happen, take care of my kids, because I really thought that was gonna happen. That's how I felt, but God was walking with me that whole time. Yeah. Charlie say, Catherine say, not gonna lie, I probably would have gave up without you, Taquila. Woo, listen, I probably would have gave up if it wasn't for the Lord. Because it's the way how God speak to me. Because when I was giving up, he let me. He let me give up about 30 days. And then he came back in there and he said something to me that got me right back in the game. I said, okay, Lord, all right. I had to take a break. I'm going, you're gonna tap me back in the game. That's how me and God talk. I'm like, all right. So okay, that's it. I'm about to end this live. I'd have said a lot today, this afternoon. But I'm gonna come back next week. Next week, we are starting our accountability series, okay? And it's a lot to it. So I need you all to show up. Make sure show up with pen and paper. I want everyone to move into doing the work, okay? We got to do the work. I'm called to get you all prepared to walk into these God ordained marriages. The preparation is the inner healing work. The preparation is knowing your value, knowing your worth, raising your standards, knowing how to set boundaries, getting in purpose. Okay. So we're gonna kick this series off next week. Make sure you are yeah, I finally done. No, they won't come back with their I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a video on when they come back. What to expect. Okay. So that is it. I am done. Everyone have a great rest of your afternoon, good night, good morning, whatever time it is for you. And I'll see y'all later. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.